One. Hi, I'm Ryan Hunter, and this is Kalispell Connections, a program where we talk about issues important to the community. And with me today is Gretchen Boyer, Executive Director of Farm Hands-Nourish the Flathead. Hi, Gretchen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So first off, could you talk about what is Farm Hands-Nourish the Flathead? What is the work you guys do?
Our work is quite varied as a nonprofit. Our mission is to build a strong community food system that fosters socially just ways of accessing food. So we do a lot of food access programs for low-income community members. And then we do a lot of educational programs. So our Food for All programs include something called Double Snap Dollars. We do a food prescription program. And we do a school coin program as well as senior coupons. Those 4 programs happen at the farmers markets in Kalispell, Whitefish, and Columbia Falls every summer. And then we also do the Columbia Falls backpack program. So we provide weekend food for the Columbia Falls most vulnerable school children. And then we also do something called Fresh Snack Friday, where we provide a local fruit or vegetable snack to the Columbia Falls School District. Our education programs include Free the Seeds, which we're going to spend some time talking about today. And we're just starting a new program with the Columbia Falls School District, excuse me. They've been doing a food corps program with their Wildcat Garden, so farm to school programming, and they're losing food corps in the state of Montana. We all are losing food corps in the state of Montana. So we are going to start doing farm to school programming for the Columbia Falls School District, which we're really excited about.
So when you talk about food access and you talk about SNAP, for a lot of folks, they may be more familiar with the term food stamps. But so this is connecting those folks who are relying on that resource from the food stamp program, connecting them maybe with more fresh local foods at the farmers market. Is that kind of the idea? And what's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, so the Double Snap Dollar program is actually a statewide program. We help run it in partnership with the Community and Food Ag Coalition in Missoula and the National Center for Appropriate Technology out of Butte. And we have a large grant through the USDA to provide incentives for SNAP recipients or folks who had food stamps to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables at the farmers market. So a SNAP recipient can come and swipe their card at the market and say they put $20 on their card, we'll give them $40 in market coins to spend on local food.
It's important to have that nourishing food, the healthy food, because a lot of folks, people don't realize that when you're in poverty, the healthy food a lot of times can be more expensive. So it's easier to get the junk food because it's more available and cheaper. So this program really sounds like opens up that opportunity for folks to have healthier food options.
Yeah, it really does. So most SNAP recipients receive $1.70 a day in SNAP. So prioritizing fresh fruits and vegetables is really hard. So this program helps make that possible.
And you're making that connection between our local food system and the school system. Can you speak a little bit more about the vision behind that and engaging with the school system and bringing them into the local food system here in the Valley?
Well, I think when we think about our food system, I think COVID has really highlighted how global our food system is and how kind of weak supply chains are with any kind of disruption. And so the more localized our food systems are, the more ability we have to have control over those food chain lines. So and that was important before COVID, but I think COVID's really pointed out how fragile it is. So we really have always believed that it's really important to strengthen our local food system and our local food economy. So bringing kids into that fold and thinking about how far food travels and what that costs us in nutrition and fuel and other things. But understanding that is, when we buy mac and cheese from the store, that, all those ingredients have traveled thousands of miles to make this mac and cheese, and that maybe we could look at how to do that more locally. and support our local farmers and businesses. So we work with kids and we do lessons in classrooms about it. We really talk about what can we grow in the state of Montana. And then we do a program called School Coins where school children can come to the farmer's market and get a $5 coin and buy a fresh fruit or vegetable or a plant that grows food on their own, making their own personal nutritious food choices while supporting the local economy. So we see both as being really important. And we also think low-income community members, the more that they have healthy, nourishing food, the more our whole community is healthy. So, excuse me, you know, we believe in supporting all members of the community to have access to healthy food.
I saw on your website you also are involved with the community gardens, and the community gardens can be a great way to connect folks in the community to growing their own food. Can you speak to that a little bit about the opportunities with our community gardens in the Valley?
Yeah, so I think each community, Whitefish, Kalispell, and Columbia Falls, Big Fork as well, all have pretty amazing, robust community gardens. And they are just a really amazing way for community members who maybe don't have lawn space or live in an apartment or don't really have the access to dig up where they're at to plant, that they can rent a plot at the community garden and grow their own food as well as, you know, community, because there's their neighbors next to them in the plot next to them growing food. So it's a really great way to build community and grow food for yourself. So we really try just to put that out as a resource for everybody and know that that's an opportunity. And actually at our Free the Seeds event, we're doing a webinar on small space gardening. So we have a woman in Kalispell who has a small yard, and she has planted every inch of it in different ways, in containers and in her grass and all over the place. So it's will be a great opportunity to see, like, how do we use every space that we can? So even if you can't access a plot at a community garden, you might be able to grow a really awesome tomato plant in a pot on your deck. And that is, you know, contributing to our local food system. It's nourishing yourself with healthy food. It's possibly growing something that you might save seeds for. It's all part of the system. So.
Yeah, and absolutely, you know, gardens, speaking of schools, you know, connecting kids with where food comes from. Like, we have a garden in our backyard. I love every spring to get out there and get it started. But, you know, the biggest joy I find from it is just connecting our daughter to food production and being able for her to go out in the backyard and pick a raspberry or pick a pea or strawberry or whatever it is from the garden and just pop it in her mouth is, I think, just one of the joys, something I remember from my childhood, and really connects kids to nature and to where their food comes from. I want to speak about the Free the Seeds event. This is the event, happens annually. I have to say it's my favorite event in the Valley every year. I've been going for a few years now, and I always see so many friends and familiar faces there. I love the event. Could you speak about what is Free the Seeds, what's kind of the intent behind it, and what are some of the opportunities that people can access there?
So Free the Seeds started as a community-based project. So Farm Hands came into the event in the first year as the fiscal sponsor of the event, and it was really a birds of the community. So all these really amazing community members came together and said, we need to start saving seeds, and we need to start giving away seeds, and we need to start teaching our community about growing food. And so from there, we're now in our 6th year. Farm Hands, it's now a project of Farm Hands. It still has a really fabulous committee of community members and a huge volunteer base that make it happen every single year, as well as sponsors from all over the community. And it's really rooted in building a sustainable and resilient future through real seeds, real food, and real skills. And the real seeds, real food, and real skills has been core to what Free the Seeds is. And when we think about the seed part, we're really working with open pollinated and heirloom seeds that grow well in our area. And heirloom and open pollinated seeds are seeds that we can save. So we've really put a focus on that and talking about how important it is to our community's food resilience.
Yeah, and so you have workshops there where you spoke a little bit about one coming up this weekend. So the event is this weekend, and but there's lots of workshops for folks to kind of learn what's going on. Can you speak about some of the different workshops that you have lined up for this weekend? Some of the things folks can learn at this event?
Absolutely. So those of you who have been to the event know that we usually have between 20 and 25 workshops happening simultaneously. And you probably have a hard time picking which one you want to go to. And so this year we did, obviously we have to do a virtual event. So this year we really focused on a survey that we sent out to folks who've been to Free the Seeds before, and we picked the top 5 topics. So on Saturday morning, between 9 and noon, we're going to have our seed swap or seed giveaway. Obviously, it's not going to be at FECC, and you're not, unfortunately, going to get to peruse through the seeds, but we will give away seed bundles. We have 2 locations that we're going to do that. One is at the Imagine If Library in Columbia Falls, and that will be grab and go. And then we also are going to do a spot in Kalispell. We're going to be at the Montana Northwest History Museum, formerly the Central School Museum at 124 2nd Avenue East. And that is going to be a walk up and go kind of situation. So you'll have to find a place to park and come grab seeds. We have them all bundled. In each bundle, we have all this information about how to save seeds, more information about the workshops in case you hadn't registered yet. And then we'll also have some kids activities available because usually we have a really great kids room at Free the Seeds. So we'll still have some kids activities to send home with you as well. And then our workshop schedule starts in the afternoon on Saturday. So we have a total of 5 educational workshops and 2 community conversations. So do you want me to go through the whole list? Is that okay?
Sure, go for it. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So on March 6th, which is Saturday at 2 p.m., we have an awesome webinar with Lindy Dewey from Spirit Works Herb Farm about growing your own herb garden. And she is obviously a plethora of information and will be hosting a fabulous webinar. And there'll be time for question and answers after all of these webinars. I talked a little bit about the next workshop at 4 p.m. on Saturday. We have small space gardening with Chris Dye, who's a local in Kalispell, and she's going to take us through. We did a video of her beautiful space that she has at her house, and she'll be taking you through small space gardening. And then that evening, we're having a community conversation with Robin Kelson, who owns the Good Seed Company and is a founding member of Free the Seeds and the most amazing person that I work with on a regular basis. She is a force to be reckoned with in this community. She just is doing so much to preserve seeds, preserve soil. She's just an amazing woman. She wants to talk about the future of community seed saving in the Valley, and she really wants to enlist some help on how to think about how we should do that in the future. And then on Sunday, we have at 1 p.m., we have a workshop with Todd Azulio from Two Bear Farm about building healthy soil. His workshops are always packed. It's usually standing room only. So this will be a really cool opportunity to have as many people who want to be there to see Todd talk about the amazing work that he does on his farm and how to build healthy soil. At 3 p.m., we have a real treat. We have Patty Armbruster from all the way from Eastern Montana giving a talk on attracting beneficial insects and pest control. And then at 5 p.m., we have another community conversation led by Isa Lund, another one of our amazing founding members of Free the Seeds, on can we create edible neighborhoods. And she herself, within her neighborhood in the Kyla area, has created a plan with her neighbors about growing food and sharing with each other. And so she's really wanting to help other communities think about how they might do that. And then our last workshop is Monday evening. at 6 p.m. And it's with Lisa Rousseau and Dan Getman, who are both orchardists on Flathead Lake. And they're going to give us a talk about fruit tree pruning and orchard tending, which I'm sure will be fabulous as well. So those are all our workshops. The really important thing to note is that you have to register for the workshops in order to be given the link. So you can go to freetheseedsmontana.com and you'll see a link for all the different webinars that we're going to present over the weekend.
Well, those all sound fantastic. I've attended a few of those, I think, when they've been given in previous years, and I love the event, and every year I learn something, but I also realize how inadequate my garden is every year when I when I listen to these folks who are just such experts and do such a great job, and someday I will be a better gardener. But it's a great event. I encourage everybody to check it out and attend. So much fun, great information, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do in person again, because that's a real part of it too, just that community spirit and being able to get together with folks who have a common interest in good soil and good seeds and good gardening. So Gretchen, thank you so much for joining me and sharing that information, and I look forward to this weekend's events.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for having me. Hope to see you all this weekend.
Right.